Hey, Vikings faithful, Skol Nation, buckle up because we've got some gut-wrenching Minnesota Vikings news to dive into today. Our hearts are heavy as we talk about Rondale Moore, a player we were all rooting for to light up US Bank Stadium in 2025. What happened to our speedy wideout in the preseason opener? It's a story that's got every Vikings fan on edge, and we're breaking it all down. Picture this. It's August 9th, 2025, and the Vikings are facing the Houston Texans in a preseason showdown. The crowd's buzzing, the purple and gold are shining, and Moore, our dynamic returner, steps onto the field for his first snap. Then, in a split second, everything changes. How did one play turn our excitement into heartbreak? Stick with me as we unpack this devastating update. This is your one-stop shop for Minnesota Vikings news. So let's dive into the story of Rondale Moore's injury, what it means for our team, and how we're rallying behind him. From the play that stopped us cold to the roster ripple effects, we've got 15 scenes to keep you locked in. What do you think this means for our season? Drop your thoughts in the comments as we go. The stage was set at US Bank Stadium, August 9th, 2025. The Vikings, hungry to show off their revamped roster, were taking on the Texans in the preseason opener. Rondale Moore, the former Purdue star we signed to a one-year, $2 million deal, was ready to prove he still got that 4.28 speed we heard about from special teams coordinator Matt Daniels. Moore fielded the first punt of the game, darting toward the right sideline with that explosive burst we were all hyped for. But then, Texans linebacker Jamal Hill brought him down awkwardly after a 2-yard gain. Moore hit the ground, grabbing his left knee, and the stadium went silent. Did you feel that sinking feeling watching it unfold? I know I did. The cart came out and Moore's frustration was palpable. He slammed his hand on the cart so hard the sound echoed through the stands. Vikings coach Kevin O'Connell called it heartbreaking, and we all knew this wasn't just a tweak. What was the damage and could Moore bounce back? Let's keep going to find out. Tuesday, August 12th, 2025, dropped a bombshell on Skol Nation. The Minnesota Vikings news we dreaded was confirmed. Rondale Moore's left knee injury is season-ending. After an MRI on Sunday, the team announced Moore's 2025 campaign was over before it even began. Can you believe this is his second straight season lost to a knee injury? Moore's journey has been a roller coaster. Drafted by the Arizona Cardinals in 2021 as the 49th overall pick, he racked up 1,201 receiving yards and 2,215 all-purpose yards in 3 seasons. But injuries have haunted him, including a dislocated right knee in 2024 with the Atlanta Falcons that kept him sidelined all year. Were you hoping, like me, that Minnesota would be his fresh start? This news hits hard, not just for Moore but for our Vikings receiver room. With Jordan Addison suspended for the first 3 games and Justin Jefferson nursing a hamstring issue, our depth is looking razor-thin. What's next for our offense? Let's break down the play that changed everything. Rewind to that fateful punt return. Moore, known for his electric playmaking, was supposed to be our secret weapon as both a receiver and returner. Special teams coordinator Matt Daniels praised his Porsche-like speed just days before, saying his explosion was back post-2024 rehab. But that tackle by Jamal Hill flipped the script. As Moore sprinted toward the sideline, Hill's tackle pulled him awkwardly over his left leg. Moore collapsed, immediately clutching his knee, and the vibe in the stadium shifted from hype to horror. Trainers rushed out and Moore's visible distress, covering his face with a towel, told us this was bad. Have you ever seen a moment like that hit a player so hard? The Vikings medical team didn't waste time. Moore was carted off, and the prolonged delay on the field had fans holding their breath. ESPN's Kevin Seifert noted the seriousness of the scene, and we all feared the worst. What did this mean for Moore's comeback dreams? Let's dig deeper. Moore's story is one of unrealized potential. At Purdue, he was a freshman phenom, looking like a future NFL superstar. His 4.28 speed and dynamic YAC ability had Cardinals fans buzzing when he was drafted. But injuries have been his kryptonite, 9 games missed in 2022 alone, and now 2 full seasons gone. After his 2024 knee dislocation with the Falcons, Moore spent months grinding through rehab to join the Vikings. He was set to be our punt returner and a big play threat alongside J.J. McCarthy and Justin Jefferson. Can you imagine what could have been with that trio? It's tough to think about. Now, Moore faces another long road of recovery. Fans on X are heartbroken, with posts like, "Got a feel for Rondale Moore," and "Back-to-back seasons is so brutal folded hands." How do you stay positive after a blow like this? Let's talk about it in the comments as we move to the team impact. The Vikings receiver room is in crisis mode. Skol Nation. With Moore out, Jordan Addison suspended for 3 games due to a wet reckless driving infraction, and Justin Jefferson dealing with a hamstring tweak, our depth chart is looking shaky. Who's stepping up? Jalen Nailor, Lucky Jackson, Ty Felton, and Thayer Thomas are now in the spotlight, battling for roster spots. Nailor's had a rough camp with drops, according to X posts, and the others are unproven. Can our WR3 and WR4 hold it down until Addison returns? I'm nervous, but what about you? This injury forces Kevin O'Connell to rethink our offensive game plan. Without more speed, our special teams and deep threat options take a hit. Minnesota Vikings news is buzzing with questions. Will we sign a free agent or trade for a WR? Let's explore the roster moves next. On the same day we got Moore's news, the Vikings made waves with roster changes. They placed Moore on injured reserve, waived linebacker Brian Asamoah too, and waived center Zeke Correll with an injury designation after he fractured his ankle. Talk about a rough day for Minnesota Vikings news. Asamoah, a 2022 third-round pick, played 188 defensive snaps over 3 seasons, but never cracked the starting lineup. Correll, an undrafted rookie, was a long shot for the roster. But Moore's absence stings the most. His versatility was a key part of our 2025 vision. What's your take on these moves? The Vikings now have an open roster spot. Will GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah hit the phones for a veteran receiver? X posts are calling for a trade to bolster our depth. Let's look at what Moore's injury means for our season outlook. Moore's injury isn't just a personal setback. It's a blow to our special teams. He was the favorite to handle punt returns, bringing that explosive energy we've missed since Keen Nwangwa's departure. Now we're scrambling to find a new returner. Who do you think steps up? His role as a receiver was critical too. With 135 catches for 1,201 yards in his career, Moore was poised to stretch defenses and create mismatches. Without him, our offense leans heavily on Jefferson, who's still not 100%. Are we putting too much on JJ's shoulders? The Vikings coaching staff is known for adapting, but this is a tall order. O'Connell's play calling thrives on speed and versatility, and Moore was a perfect fit. Let's dive into how this affects our rookie QB, J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy, our first-round QB, was counting on Moore to be a reliable target. As a rookie, McCarthy needs weapons to ease his transition, and losing Moore's big play ability hurts. Can you imagine the deep balls Moore could have caught? O'Connell's offense is built on quick, dynamic plays, and Moore's YAC skills were a dream match. Now, McCarthy's left with unproven depth and a hobbled Jefferson. Will this force us to lean more on Aaron Jones and the run game? Drop your predictions below. The good news? McCarthy's shown poise in camp, and O'Connell's a master at adjusting. But without Moore, our passing game faces an uphill battle early in the season. Let's talk about the fan reaction to this news. Skol Nation is reeling, and the X platform is lit up with reactions. Fans are posting heartbreak emojis and prayers for Moore, with comments like, "My boy cannot catch a break," and "actually hate this for him." Des Bryant and Chad Johnson even chimed in with, "Damn folded hands medium dark skin tone," and "Broken heart. Are you feeling the same pain?" One fan on X wrote, "Second straight year with a season-ending injury. Got a feel for Rondale Moore, but that comeback player of the year is going to feel great folded hands." That optimism is pure Viking spirit, but it's tough to stay positive. What's your message to Rondale right now? The fan base is also asking, are injuries getting more prevalent? It's a fair question. Moore's not alone in battling the injury bug. Let's look at his history and why this hits so hard. Moore's career has been a battle against injuries. In 2022, he missed 9 games with the Cardinals. Then, a dislocated right knee in 2024 with the Falcons wiped out his entire season. Now, a left knee injury in 2025? It's like the football gods are testing him. At just 25 years old, Moore's got time to bounce back, but back-to-back season-ending injuries are brutal. His 2,215 all-purpose yards show his potential, but health has been his biggest enemy. Do you think Moore can return stronger in 2026? Vikings fans know resilience, and Moore's story resonates with us. From his electric Purdue days to his NFL struggles, he's a fighter. Let's explore how the Vikings are supporting him through this. Kevin O'Connell's response to Moore's injury shows why we love this coaching staff. "I make a life out of trying to leave others better than I found them," O'Connell said. "And in that situation, there's really nothing I can do, which is the worst feeling as a head coach. That's leadership, Skol Nation." Justin Jefferson, our WR1, was seen spending extra time with Moore in the locker room post-injury. A true sign of team brotherhood. The Vikings X account shared that moment, and it's pure purple and gold heart. How much does this team unity mean to you? Moore's not alone in this fight. The Vikings training staff and teammates will rally around him, but the road to recovery is long. Let's talk about what's next for our WR room. With Moore on IR, the Vikings are turning to Jalen Nailor, Lucky Jackson, Ty Felton, and Thayer Thomas to fill the gap. Nailor's got speed but struggled with drops in camp, per X-Post. Felton and Thomas are rookies fighting for a spot, while Jackson's a veteran long shot. Who's your pick to step up? Minnesota Vikings news is buzzing with trade rumors. VikingsTerritory.com suggested 7 WRs we could target, from veterans to young talent. Should we make a splash or trust our depth? I'm torn. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. The first 3 games without Addison and Moore will test our depth. Jefferson can't do it all, especially with that hamstring tweak. Let's look at how we adjust our game plan. O'Connell's offense thrives on versatility, but without more speed, we might lean heavier on the run game. Aaron Jones, our RB1, could see a bigger workload, and TJ Hawkinson's return at tight end will be crucial. Are we ready to pound the rock, Skol Nation? The passing game will rely on quick routes and play action to keep defenses honest. McCarthy's mobility could add a new wrinkle, but losing Moore's YAC ability stings. How do you think we adapt without him? Minnesota Vikings news will keep us updated, but the early season schedule looks brutal. We face tough defenses, and our depth will be tested. Let's wrap up with what this means for 2025 and beyond. Skol Nation, this is a tough pill to swallow, but the Vikings are built for adversity. Moore's injury is a setback, but our team's resilience, led by O'Connell, McCarthy, and Jefferson, will carry us forward. Can we rally to make a playoff push despite this loss? Moore's journey isn't over. At 25, he's got the heart and talent to come back stronger in 2026. Vikings fans, let's flood his X-mentions with support and show him what Skol Nation is all about. What's your message to Rondale? That's it for this Minnesota Vikings news update. If this hit you in the feels, smash that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more Vikings content. Share this with your fellow Skol fans, and let's keep the purple pride alive. Skol Vikings!